Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video, and today, finally, we are back on Motorsport Manager 3, and yeah, I know, it has been a very long time, but we're back, and I'm actually considering continuing the series here, but I need to know what you people think of it. Should we continue? Should we not continue? Today will be a triple episode, and as you can see in the championship, Logan Sargent is on a roll. So is Théo Pourchaire, and in F1, Max Verstappen is absolutely dominating. However, there are still 3 races to go here in Formula 3, so maybe we can try and turn it around here. But just one more thing. How the hell is he still in F1? I don't know, but we're going to move on here for the next race weekend in the Dutch Grand Prix, and hopefully we can gain some points here on Logan Sargent, who has been on a roll in this series so far. So here we go, getting ready for qualifying here in the Netherlands. Hopefully we can actually have some pace. Our team is actually quite strong, if I last remember. So here we go, we're running P15 and P20 in qualifying, but that will change as Arthur Leclerc will go up to P2 with a pretty stunning lap. And now into the final laps of the session, Arthur Leclerc will not improve. He will only stay in P3. Meanwhile, Sam, he needs a much better lap here, crossing the line, and he goes up into P8. So it's not great considering our nearest championship rival, Sargent, is on pole position here for the Dutch Grand Prix. But now all we can hope for is that our drivers will have the race pace to be able to keep up with Logan Sargent. Hopefully we'll get a safety car or anything that can make him drop down the field. But now we're revving up to 5 red lights here for the Dutch Grand Prix, and we are underway here for the Dutch Grand Prix. 18 laps of racing is underway, and Leclerc gets away pretty decently. Iwasa didn't do a good job at the start there. Meanwhile, Sam is fighting for P5 here. He's usually really good on the race start. He didn't do as well today as he is on the harder tyre, the ultra soft tyre. So we skip on to the end of lap 2, and Sam is down in P9. Leclerc is in P3. However, we're going to split the strategy. Leclerc will do a 2-stop, while Sam will do a 1-stop, and hopefully he'll have the pace to kind of stick near these leaders. Meanwhile, I've actually been followed into the pit lane. Leclerc will go onto the ultra soft tyre and will pit onto another set of the ultra soft tyre at the end of the Grand Prix, but unfortunately he is now stuck in traffic, which will kind of affect how much pace he can show. Meanwhile, Sam is into the pit lane, and look how far away he is from his teammate, which is not encouraging considering he's on a 1-stop. Leclerc gets ahead of Iwasa there as he made a mistake, but I don't think there's much hope for us here. Hopefully Logan Sargent has an engine failure or something, because there is literally not much hope in beating him. We do have Leclerc ahead of him, but we have to pit again. And now on to lap 12, Leclerc is into the pit lane for a new set of the ultra soft tyres. Sam will go through into P9, so he's now our main hope of getting into the top 10 here today. Meanwhile, Leclerc is stuck in quite a lot of traffic again. And look at the championship, man. Is that even a title fight anymore? I'm not sure. But to my shock, we have a few cars in the pit lane, and Logan Sargent is one of them. And he's now down to P13. But literally, on the same lap, he's gone from P13 to P6. Is there any point defending that? Absolutely not. Logan Sargent moves up into the podium places, while we have to now salvage a P5. However, that actually didn't go as badly as I thought. I thought Sargent would do a 1-stop strategy and dominate the Grand Prix, but instead, Jack Crawford takes the victory. A big victory for him and High Tech Racing. But for now, I think I can be quite grateful that the gap isn't any bigger.
What the f*** is this?
Okie dokie, mate. Yep, we're going to move on from that. And oh my god, who would have thought Verstappen, for the 5th time in a row, has won. Meanwhile, in F2, Enzo Fittipaldi did a great job there. And in F4, Flavien Power is actually the F4 champion. So congrats to him. Hopefully, we'll see him up in Formula 3, maybe even Formula 2 But now we move on to the Russian Grand Prix, and in qualifying we have a very small amount of time to get a lap in here, but thankfully my drivers made it in the nick of time, and that allows Leclerc to take pole position here for the Russian Grand Prix. Come on, Arthur Leclerc finally showing what he can do, and now the plan is simple. 5 red lights and we are underway for the Russian Grand Prix. Leclerc gets away brilliantly, so does Sam, and we're already in a 1-2 position, and immediately we're going to prioritise Arthur Leclerc. Sam is on the harder, soft tyre, well, the super soft tyre as they called it back then. Leclerc is on the hyper soft tyre, and he should now fly away from the field while Sam backs up everyone, and look at the gap we have. Absolutely marvellous, and that, I don't know how that plan actually worked. However, at the end of lap 6, Leclerc's tyres were going off completely, and he did lose about a second. However, he goes into the pit lane, and when he comes out of the pit lane, he is in a bunch of clear air. This should be a victory for Arthur Leclerc. He's got everything going his way here today. Meanwhile, Sam is dominating in the lead as the other rivals are in the pit lane. And now, we're going to look at Leclerc. Yep, he made a mistake. He had everything going well, and he messed up. And now he's in a bunch of traffic, and he doesn't have a 2-second advantage to everyone else. Meanwhile, now we're going to have to rely on Sam to win the Grand Prix. For goodness sake, Leclerc, don't hire Leclerc's, man. Overrated as hell. And now we have to move on to the end of the Grand Prix, and we could not push for the victory as the tyres were gone, and we can only settle for P2 and P6. How have we done that? We've literally had a Ferrari moment, and we've allowed Beganovic to win. So we'll take a podium, we'll take points gained in the championship on Logan Sargent, but what the hell just happened here in Russia? How did we manage to bottle that? I have no idea. Meanwhile, in F1, we can be happy because one Leclerc knows what he's doing. Charles Leclerc wins in Britain. Finally a new winner. Meanwhile, in F2, Theo Pourchaire is still leading the championship, but Lundgaard won the race, and I don't think Sam watched the Grand Prix. How did that go better than expected? I don't know how he's thinking that. Meanwhile, we're now moving on to the German Grand Prix, the final race of the episode, and now it's going to take quite a miracle to keep the championship alive, and we've made things a little bit difficult for ourselves as now we've run out of time to do a final run in qualifying. So are we in the mud? Absolutely. And to make matters even worse for us, Logan Sargent takes pole position, and it's raining. Simply lovely. Listen to the rain. You've got to love it. So now strategy is kind of out of the window here, as it's got to stop raining halfway through the race. We need to push here as we rev up to 5 red lights now, and we're underway for the German Grand Prix. Leclerc does get a good start, so does his teammate Sam. We've not done that well there, but however, by the time we get to lap 2, Sam is up into P3, which is very ideal. Leclerc is in P6, and now Sam makes the move on Cordial, and it's a 1v1 with Logan Sargent. So maybe we can actually beat him, but look at the background. We've had a car in the war, and we've now got a safety car on lap number 5 out of absolutely nowhere, and Iwasa has crashed out. I'm going to stay out on track as it's still a little bit too wet to pit in for the dry tyres, but look at the rain going down very quickly. We could take a gamble. We could try a gamble, and that is what I will do. We're going to pit both cars in for the super soft tyres. We have nothing to lose here, as, well, we're going to lose the championship if we don't get ahead of Sargent. So now we need to pit in. It's now or never. And now at the end of the lap, we have 1 lap left of the safety car. But look at this. Everyone is going into the pit lane at the same time. We do a really good double stack And now Sam is wheel to wheel with Sargent in the pit lane, and we get out ahead of him. We are now ahead of Logan Sargent, and Cordeal somehow was able to overtake him. And now we have 10 laps remaining. The safety car is gonna end, and we are underway. 10 laps to go, and now Sam needs to keep his cool and maintain the lead. And by some miracle, from P7 and P8 on the grid, we're going to take the victory in the German Grand Prix. The championship is on for the final round in Monaco, and Sam has taken a massive win, and that is an absolute miracle. A 1-2 for the team. And believe it or not, we have now taken the lead of the constructors. Logan Sargent does a great job to finish in P3, and the championship is going to go down to the wire in Monaco. But that is basically it for today, everyone. Thank you very much for watching, and sorry that it's been a long time since I've actually made a video on this game. I've got to say, just playing those 3 Grand Prix makes me really realise how fun this game can be. But the only issue is, editing the videos is still a little bit of a drag. However, doing voiceover like so is actually a lot more fun than I thought it would be. So I think that is the direction I will be going in if I do continue the series. But that is the end of today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.
What it really means to live life gold.